Hey, Tactical Painter here on out in the Suits Crafting Wood Shop. Today in the shop we are going to be working on this antique brass tank pen kit. So excited to do one of these. The customer that I have these for actually provided these kits and the blanks for them. So you can see down in here we've got the little muzzle brake that the ink comes out of, the little muzzle brake that the pen ink retracts and comes out of there. You've got the top here is based off of a World War II style tank that twists with the pen, and then the clip, if you can see the clip in there, is actually stylized off of a tank track. And then the customer also provided this lovely Magnolia blank that we're going to be putting together with this today. It's got some real nice grain work. It's got a nice feature section there that we're going to try to capitalize on. They're not exactly, this one's a lot more square than the other blank that I have, but if you can kind of see, there's a little bit of bowing there. So sorry, you got to see my face behind that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started. Okay, so the first thing that we have got to do is we have got to get this thing cut down to size. So to do that, we are going to choose the section on this blank that we like. I really like this feature, and I'd like to know where it comes out. I actually don't see where it comes out. I wonder if it connects up to right here. So that's a nice feature there as well. It's a nice feature here. And if that passes from there all the way through to this front section, that means that somewhere in the middle going through here is going to be something nice to look at. So other than that, it's pretty straight lines. There's not a whole lot of extra to it. So I think we'll use that section right there. We'll leave a little extra on the end. A little extra on this end. We'll put our dot here. Just like that. Take the brass tube away. Take our square. And we will just mark our cut line. And before I forget, I'm going to mark the side that we are removing with an X so that I know that that section is going away. And we're keeping this section because if you look, it's about the same size on both sides. But this side is pretty easy to tell that I don't want to keep it because I also have this crack that runs through here. And so I know that I'm going to keep this side because I also have that feature. But marking it with an X sometimes, especially when you have a blank that they look almost exactly the same on both sides, just marking it tells you that's the side that's got to go. So I am going to just cut this with the hacksaw like I usually do. I'm going to tighten this down because this blank is not exactly square. It's close, but it's not perfect. So I'm just going to tighten that down, get a real good grip on it, and let's cut it down. Bring this around, we'll just clean that up real quick since we've already got it on there. We'll mark the side that we've got our line on, so we will mark right here that this is the side that we're going to chuck back up later. So we are going to use a number 2 center drill bit to center this up. Want a little dimple there for the bit to just kind of catch and go into. Okay, so we got our 3/8 inch bit here. We're going to just put this into our Jacob's chuck. Alright, we are just going to drill this down. Got speed set to about 800. Take it nice and slow. breaker bars here. Break this open. A little wood chip there, knock that off. Real clean drill. I can feel a little bit of heat build up, but not too bad. Just a little bit warmer than the outside air. Got a good clean end on that. Clean end on that. Let's check, make sure our brass tube goes through. And indeed, it falls right through. Again, I'll show that. So I got it in the top, and it just goes right through, out the bottom. So that worked perfectly. On to gluing. Okay, today's drop cloth brought to you by United States Postal Service. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this tube and we are going to glue it down into this blank. And look. So we'll put some thick on here. Now the nice thing about this is that the tubes are already roughed up, and so I don't have to rough those up at all. So we can just go ahead and glue this in. And we're back. I kind of forgot to turn the camera on a little bit ago, and I am super excited because what I've got in the mail today were these little tiny bottles. And I got 8 of them for $8, and they've got a little needle nose on there. You can see that. Got a little tiny needle nose, and I've got this filled with thin CA glue, and I've been using these for a little bit, just kind of testing them out before I got on camera here, and they are working wonderfully. And what I've done here is I took some of those areas that had cracks in them and I have filled them with some of the thin CA just to sort of secure those in place. Those got some nice features there. They did have some cracks in them, so we've had to fill those. Next thing that I need to do is just fill the gap in between that end of the brass there. And it's real simple. So you just take this, you press it, squeeze it a little bit, get some air out, and as you tip it, you release some of it and allow air to go into the bottle, so that way the thin doesn't just flow out where you don't want it. And then you just dribble a little bit in there at a time, and that just fills that gap space. Alright, so that wraps up for what we can get done today. We're going to let that glue set overnight, and we are going to come back tomorrow and we are going to true up the face on that, and then we're going to lathe it down and get it turned round and get it turned to the bushings and then polished up, and then we'll go on to assembly after that. So this ends part 1. Thank you so much for joining me out in the shop today. You can check out part 2 right here, or you can check out some of my other videos right here. If you're not watching far enough in the future yet, the part 2 is done. Feel free to check these out. And as always, remember to subscribe. We are running videos just about every week now, so if you want to come check it out, subscribe right here. Thank you so much for joining me in the shop. Suits Crafting, signing out.